So, MG have launched an SUV. It's first ever SUV in fact, and this is a result of the shifting appetite of new car buyers all around the world who are now after crossovers big and small, and that's what's hot. So, what's MG's angle? Well, just like its only other model on sale in the UK, the MG3 Super Mini, don't forget the MG6 Saloon was axed recently, the GS is rooted in affordability, but looking at it, you wouldn't necessarily think so. I mean, I think it looks quite stylish. Whether it looks more stylish than the likes of the Seat Ateca, the Renault Kadjar, or the Nissan Qashqai is entirely up to you, but nevertheless, that is the competition to beat. But is MG up to the task? Now, since its launch, MG has been going on about how impressive the standard kit levels of the GS are, which include the likes of 17-inch alloys. You also get LED daytime running lights, aircon, and cruise control, which isn't groundbreaking compared to something like the Nissan Qashqai, but the MG GS is a lot cheaper. We'll come back to that in a bit. Now, this flagship exclusive model gets everything from the likes of rain sensing wipers to heated leather seats. You also get a reversing camera and sat nav, and it does feel quite plush, at least kit wise. I like the way these seats hug you into place, and I really like the infotainment screen, it's quite snappy. But it doesn't take long until that strong whiff of cost cutting becomes apparent. I mean, just like the MG6, the interior is quite dark and there's loads of scratchy plastics dotted around. And although I really like this layout of buttons, it's very logical and easy to understand, these black plastic panels here just ruin it a bit. And I like the stitching here as well. That'd be nice if it was reaching right across there. It'd get rid of a lot of the plastic, but hey, they've got to cut costs somewhere, I suppose. Now, the rear of the GS is more of a rounded package. First off, you've got these nice wide opening doors, and once you get inside, there's loads of legroom and loads of headroom. You also get this fold down armrest with two cup holders, and well, it's just really easy to move around. You've got plenty of legroom. And when it comes to these seats, you fold down very easily with a vault door like bang, but you get a nice flat loading surface. Now, if we come around to the boot, and the opening is quite narrow. I mean, it can be a bit awkward getting wide objects in. However, you still get 483 litres with the seats in place and 1,336 litres with the seats down. Now, size-wise, that means it sits in between the Seat Ateca and the Nissan Qashqai. It's hard to know where to start with the GS, so I'm just going to start with its most confusing element, and that is its 164 brake horsepower, 1.5 litre petrol engine, which is the only engine in the range. Now, initially when you drive this engine, you'll probably think, "Wow, that's all right, that's got a bit of power," but after you drive it for a while, you realise that power is in small quantities and, well, it's just a bit all over the place. I mean, it only really comes to life over 2,500, 3,000 RPM. It's a bit like an erratic wave and you're not quite sure when it's going to peak. This 1.5 petrol is more entertaining than the likes of the entry-level 1.2 litre petrol in the Qashqai, but with an average of around 40 miles per gallon and CO2 of 139 grams per kilometre, it's just hard to get motivated about it. I'm still not quite sure about this 6-speed manual gearbox. I mean, sure, it's sharp enough, but it's just a bit flimsy. Thankfully, the GS's handling has got a bit more about it. Now, around town, the steering, which is electromechanical, not hydraulic, is nice and easy to manoeuvre, and the insulation in the cabin is really good. I mean, the only thing you're really going to hear is the engine under heavy acceleration. Sure, feedback in the steering could be better, but I think it strikes quite a nice balance. The ride, on the other hand, is just a bit temperamental. I mean, again, around town, it's fine, but get up to speed on pretty much any road, and it just feels a bit unsettled and firm. I mean, this road we're on now for the UK isn't too bad, it's relatively smooth, but ba-dump. I mean, you could argue that the slightly firmer setup is to help it cornering, and it does, it keeps body roll in check when going around corners at speed, but then the steering isn't really set up for fast cornering, so yeah. So, pricing, this is where the GS claims to be a big deal, and at £14,995 it's £3,000 cheaper than the Seat Ateca, £3,800 cheaper than the Nissan Qashqai, and over £4,000 cheaper than the Renault Kadjar, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. But two models I haven't mentioned yet are the SsangYong Tivoli and the Dacia Duster, which start from under £13,000 and £10,000 respectively. And if the GS can't quite reach the heights of its rivals and you're purely after affordability, then why wouldn't you go for one of these models? And by the way, this flagship model behind me costs 20 grand. And that's just it with the GS really. I mean, it claims to be affordable, which it is to an extent, but it lingers in limbo between models that are either a lot better than it or ones that are a lot cheaper. And seeing as though the GS isn't distinctively different to either, it's hard to recommend it really. What do you think of the GS? Do you give it a shot? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click on the inquire button to find out more details about this car, or for any other models, visit carkeys.co.uk. And to watch more reviews, click one of the links on screen now.